Hi, my name is Dr. Akhil Damodaran. I am the cluster head for Emerging Business School of Business. So this particular video which we have recorded this moment is intended to make sure that people understand what Metaverse is, what is the emerging technology of blockchain and Metaverse is all about, and the first of its kind MBA which we have launched, MBA in Metaverse and Web 3.0, why it is very, very important and essential for the future leaders to be. And that's the intention behind this recording. So watch the conversation between me and Dr. Rahul Nainwal, who is the Director of School of Business. On this conversation, we'll be discussing about what Metaverse is, how the Metaverse is important, and what the future looks like, and why this MBA Metaverse is a cutting-edge MBA for the future generation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rahul Nainwal and I'm the Director of UPES School of Business, and today I have with me Professor Akhil Damodaran, who heads our Emergent Cluster. Hi
Thanks,
Akhil, welcome.
For the invite. Thank you.
So Akhil, you know that we are a B school for a digital world, and there are a lot of things that we are doing within our B school so that we make our students fairly kind of digital ready. And
Absolutely.
And why we are doing that is that essentially all the processes, all the businesses are becoming digital, and we don't want a situation where our students are not ready to participate and lead this world that is becoming increasingly digital. So I've been hearing a lot about Metaverse.
Absolutely.
Right? And I just want to hear from you, what do you think Metaverse is, and what are its possible kind of implications for future and for businesses?
Okay, so Rahul, let me put it this way. I think the whole point of Metaverse, digitalization, and all the emerging technologies are all started after the trigger of COVID. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And somehow people have realized that they have to be prepared for such a situation again, because the point is COVID has really jolted the whole industry completely, and I think most of the industry are still coming out of it. I mean, if you see the bads of what is happening around in the world right now, it's all because of the COVID implication, which is right now vomiting in the economy. But it will all stabilize after some time. But point is, are we ready for the next something like this? And the only way to do that is how much we can make things digital. And I think the definition of digital has also changed. I mean, there was a time when digital, in 90s, digital was anything inside computer is digital. I mean, that's the way it is. Right. But now the whole thing has changed. Now when you say digital, there are a lot of components behind it. And I mean everything which you can your emotion, everything is connected together. And it has been coupled with the kind of technology that come out. Even 5G now, which has become commercial, it has really boosted the emerging technology. So Metaverse, which was thought to be very frank, 20 years back, this concept was there. Before even Neil Stephenson, this concept was there. Not as a term, as a coin, but it was there. But people always thought it cannot be achieved. But now I think people have realized that I think the time has come, because there are components which can really build that Metaverse. So what Metaverse is, if you look at it, so there was a time when people used to say there is a virtual reality. Virtual reality is something which is more virtual, and you can see things inside it. Okay, there's an augmented reality in which you have a physical world, real world, but because of the lens and everything, you can see some virtual things in it. Metaverse is a virtual world. The difference between virtual reality and virtual world is that it's a different world altogether conceptually, where you can do exactly the same kind of transaction, business, economics, everything what you do in a real man-made world. Okay, so in terms of office and everything. And why everybody is betting on Metaverse, okay, is because that's the only answer for the next COVID.
So we are getting ready for the big pandemic that might have hit us.
Not only the COVID, anything which is possible. Possible, because business have become very crucial that you cannot have an alternative to it. So something happens after 10 years, let's say, we cannot, but no government want to do the same, no government is ready to afford again the same kind of loss which they have already have it. So the only way possible is if we can make things completely virtual. In such a way that the consumer doesn't feel the difference between what is real, what is unreal. I'm not talking about matrix, but in a way that their businesses are exactly the same as what they do in the physical world and in the virtual world. that's where things can be much more better in a sense. And that's the reason, that's also one of the reasons why majority of the companies are triggering work from home. It's not because to give the employees the freedom of, you can work in your home and you can be happy. The reason is they want to really demo this thing that if I work completely virtual, everything is virtual, my business exactly looks the same or not? That is what the experiment of work from home is actually happening around the world. And at the same time, people are focusing on the building their virtual world altogether.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the way. So if you look at the future leaders, now that's the whole point is why we are getting into the metaverse part of it. I would really say that if you look at the internet era, the best example is in 1991 somebody asked me whether internet work or not. To be very answers, there are 50% will say it doesn't work, it may not work because क्या ठीक है computer से दूसरे computer you can have messages to move forward to. And at that time also there was a .com bubble. So majority of the companies who led the internet at that time all failed. But the technology never fails. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
Somehow the notion is that metaverse is meta. That's not the truth. That's not at all the truth. But technology is coming no matter what. Even if we learn it, we don't learn it. Every conversation people always ask me what is metaverse. I would rather say that 99% of the people are working in internet today, right? How many of them are defining internet? They cannot. So what really matters is that are you really able to work inside that kind of atmosphere? Are you able to do best of your ability in that environment? Are you productive?
Sure.
At the end of the day, the future tech leaders are somebody who are able to swim in this kind of an atmosphere and come out with the new future solutions of the world problems, which needs these components in it. And that's the reason I think none of the institution around the world is right now prepared. It's still like an internet phase. Coming up or not. And some company will become a Facebook, some company will become the Google of next, who are going to come out with some kind of an application of these metaverse, and that's where the trigger starts. We are in that exactly stage. So this
we
is
are at the cusp of where I think we're going to also switch from one kind of internet to this new kind of internet, which metaverse is.
Exactly.
And you know that, we are preparing our students to be able to swim in this new internet.
Absolutely.
So, we also offered this year a specialization, an MBA in Metaverse and Web 3.0.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what is this specialization? What will it include?
So first of all, I'm as a school, I think we are all proud of it, that we are the first in the world itself that we were starting MBA in Metaverse and Web 3.0. And I would also say that there are many people who started to think about it, but didn't conceptualize it, mentalize it for that matter, and we did it. As a school, I think it's a good thing to start with. Now, if you look at the Metaverse MBA, which we have started off, it has mainly 3 components, and that 3 components is actually what happens in any MBA. It should be happening ideally in any MBA. The first is obviously the basic foundation principles or the knowledge the student should have regarding Web 3.0. Not the Metaverse, Web 3.0, because Metaverse is a component of this Web 3.0 ecosystem, which will also have blockchain, which will have decentralization, tokenomics, Metaverse. These are the part of the whole ecosystem. And one leads to other. You cannot say that कि मेरे को ये आता है, ये नहीं आता है. They have to understand all those things. That's the conceptual knowledge of it. Second part of it, that's the application part of it. So are you able to apply those knowledge? Are you able to work inside Metaverse? Are you able to do work in blockchain? Not as a coder. ChatGPT has really made sure that you don't need to know how to code.
Yeah.
But you really need to know the application of those products. That's the most important point. Are you able to solve problems through it? Problem solving. MBAs are problem solvers. Are you able to solve problems through these applications? ChatGPT, every day you can really, if you look at problems, you can solve a lot of things through ChatGPT. Are you able to have that insight, aptitude to do that? That's right. And apart from that, that's the second part of it, application. Then comes real world problems, real case scenarios. So we have tied up with companies who are ready to offer students not only internship, but also collaborate with them too, because they're also swimming together. The same boat. So they want to really work with the students, making them product managers to understand how the metaverse works, how the metaverse actually be, and how the business part of metaverse actually works. So these 3 components completes you to be the product manager of Web 3.0 at a start.
Sure. So, in a typical MBA program, there are a lot of business foundation courses,
Absolutely.
right? So I'm assuming in Metaverse and Web 3.0, we will have business foundation courses
Absolutely,
as well. So
absolutely.
you'll have the HR, you'll have the finance,
Absolutely.
you will have organization behavior and all of that. And then there'll be courses which are very specialized to, very niche to Metaverse and Web 3.0.
So, very good point you have raised. I mean, so the first semester is basically the foundation of management. I mean, in the sense what HR,
Right.
finance, and everything else. And when the second semester starts, slowly we are moving towards the Metaverse and Web 3.0 ecosystem. But even that time also we are moving towards slightly to the specialization of these skills. I mean, let's say HR analytics, let's say. So we are giving some analytics part of it, and then branding in marketing in Metaverse. I mean, so we are going slowly towards the same specialization from the basic principle point of view.
Sure.
By third semester, we are going towards the main Web 3.0 ecosystem. By the time the students exactly aligns well, okay, these are my functions, now this is my specialization, and now this is my application part of it, which is coming in third semester.
Sure.
And by fourth semester, they will be working with the industry. So by this time, they know what is the principle of Metaverse, what the principle of management is, and how these are aligned together, and how I am applying it. And now they are working with the industry. That's the whole crux of the principle of MBA in Metaverse.
So if a student does an MBA in Metaverse and Web 3.0 from UPES School of Business, what are the kind of job prospects you think they will have after they pass out?
Okay. So before we started this program, to be very frank to you, this is the first thing we searched. Okay, because what happens is every single new kind of technology should trigger kind of a job profiles. So we're looking at job profiles. So it's not that only Metaverse companies want to hire Metaverse people. Even a normal company like Coca-Cola, you will not believe that right now when we're talking, I think the audience on the video who are watching the video can search it out in LinkedIn if you want to, that even Coca-Cola has more than 5,000 jobs for Metaverse executives, because they are doing the branding and everything inside Metaverse in different platforms.
Sure, yeah.
And they want people who can do the marketing inside it, they can interact the customers inside it, and they know how to advertise the Coke and everything inside. So even Coca-Cola, you have General Motors for that matter. General Motors. Car companies are now exactly in Metaverse. I mean, not only that, even airports have jobs in Metaverse now, because every airport's new terminal is now first coming in Metaverse for the branding.
Okay.
So it's not only that a Metaverse company will give a job. That's not the truth. I mean, if all the companies, at least in Fortune 500, if you look at it, majority of them are moving towards Metaverse as a subsidiary. So they have the same kind of job before, like brand managers used to have. Now you have Metaverse brand managers. So I mean, the person who has to understand the Metaverse first, and also to understand how to tweak the Metaverse for their benefit. I mean, that's the point of it. So those jobs are already existing. It's rapidly growing. Rapidly growing in a very fast way. So, I mean, for the students to get a job in Metaverse is not a bigger issue. I mean, once we come out of the this MBA, I mean, that's the point.
So basically, you're saying there are lots and lots of opportunities, and not just in Metaverse-related companies, but also mainstream companies, because whether these companies like it or not, they will be in the Metaverse.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like you said in the beginning, the technology is not going to stop.
Yeah.
It may get delayed. The adoption might get delayed by maybe a year or so, but it is going to happen because these technologies have come, their time has come, and it will happen. So if our students have a sense of these technologies as to what their applications are, what are their future usages, and how these technologies can be leveraged to kind of solve problems. That's what business school graduates do.
Very, very interesting point to that. In 90s, MBA used to be at that time was like HR, finance, marketing. These are the major MBAs.
Right.
When internet came out, MBA IT came. At that time also people realized IT MBA. What do you mean? But today it's one of the core MBAs around. So the reason I'm emphasizing this point is Web 3.0. You look at the market. I mean, forget the MBA part. Just look at the market. You will understand that companies are betting so much into this that it's going to come. It's just a race that somebody is falling, somebody is going behind, somebody is going up. Yeah. But anyway, at least there will be top 5 companies. Like Amazon was a hero in Web 2.0. Some Amazon is going to come here as well. I mean, somebody's going to.
Agree.
It's just a matter of time. But why I want everybody who's looking at the video, that the only way to lead is to start first. I mean, that's what the internet has told us. I mean, Samir Bhatia, everybody, today anybody can create a hot meal. But he started first, that's it. So he got acquired by Microsoft. So if you want the entrepreneurs of Web 3.0 coming in, you have to start first. That's it. So there is no point of being skeptical of this. The technology is coming no matter what. There is a hype cycle of every technology. So we are at the hype cycle right now. Hype cycle का जो main indication क्या होता है, वो उन सबको खत्म कर देता है जो actually hype कर रहे हैं, उनके पास है कुछ नहीं. But जो real leader है वो बाहर आना ही आना होता है hype के बाद. तो we are just waiting for the right company who is going to really come out and पर उसके बाद ना आप catch नहीं कर पाओगे, आप lead नहीं कर पाओगे.
I completely agree with you. And so I mean, one can kind of summarize that if you're a student who's looking to do an MBA, you're excited about metaverse, virtual realities, Web 3.0 technologies, you often read about cryptocurrencies, blockchains, tokens and all of that, and you're wondering how some of these things actually make business sense, right?
Absolutely.
And they do make business sense. So if you come here and come to UPS and come to this course on Metaverse and Web 3.0, you basically understand how some of these technologies that drive the new Web 3.0.
Absolutely.
And what is their application in the business world, and the sky is the limit for you.
One of the proof I want to add to that is that everybody gives me example of this, that crypto आया और अब तो bleed कर गया, ठीक है. But you should look at the other way around. जो CBDC गवर्नमेंट ने निकाला, सेंट्रल बैंक डिजिटल करेंसी, ई-रूपी जिसे कहते हैं, उसका बेस वही ब्लॉकचेन है.
Correct.
वो वही क्रिप्टो है. हर गवर्नमेंट ये चाहती है कि उनकी करेंसी चले, दूसरे की ना चले. That's fair enough. That's a fair thing. Because वो वैल्यूएशन इकोनॉमिक हिसाब से रिफ्लेक्ट करती है. तो it is true that the trigger happened with Bitcoin. वो चले ना चले वो अलग बात है. ट्रिगर दे दिया, उसका काम हो गया. But the government has adopted it. I mean, that's as a businessman, if you look at it, it's the best bet you can have. The government has adopted it. I mean, what more you need to have a proof of it. So it is going to come no matter what.
Sure. And it's good that you raise this point, because I think MBA students who will come and do this program on Metaverse and Web 3.0, they would precisely understand that when a Bitcoin is launched, it is really betting that all the central banks across the world are not managed well. They don't manage currency well. And so we want to create a parallel currency.
Absolutely.
And whereas all the central banks don't want Bitcoin to exist because they want to control supply of money. And this significant fact you can only learn when you're actually also doing some of the foundation courses in MBA and then trying to make connections.
Absolutely. And what you said a very right point, that because of Bitcoin, people realize that now you don't need banks to manage money. Even RBI is doing the same thing. The e-rupee, that e-rupee is the passbook of e-rupee, the transaction. It's not managed by bank. It's managed by the rupee itself. It is not controlled by, all the, I think 200-300 crores has been transacted as a demo.
Okay.
It was not managed by any banks across international. It was automatically, the ledger was created by the coin itself.
Right.
That is the difference between UPI and e-rupee. I mean, people say UPI में तो करते थे, e-rupee में क्या है? The coin is totally traceable, trackable. So they are exactly doing the same thing, but only they want is कि कोई private company का private currency, national currency बन सकता.
बिल्कुल.
I mean, that's the point. But what I'm saying is, ultimately the technology worked. So metaverse, I'm telling you, the whole problem I have is when people say meta नहीं चल रहा.
Meta is one company.
हाँ, तो मतलब one company, he gave the idea, he never realized the other will come up. तो automatically उसमें crowd जो आया, he was not able to catch it up. मतलब बाकी सब करके Microsoft भी कर रहा है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Microsoft, not only that, Microsoft acquired Activision for $69 billion. It's not a small amount. And only to create Metaverse. Now what they did is they delayed Metaverse, but in the sense they are focusing on creating digital enterprise Metaverse. That's called digital twin. I mean, to have a simulation and other things possible. Commercial करने से पहले they want to do that. That's the reason Microsoft is doing that. But it's not that Metaverse नहीं आ रहा है. Everybody is moving towards that. There's no, even Apple, everybody will move into that. But I assure you, that if you are taking a lead, I will be proud to say there will be some company from India coming out as Facebook and Google. The problem is we will wait always कि अच्छा बुरा लग रहा है कि नहीं. इंटरनेट में हमने पूरा यही किया. I mean, you are the best. You know the 90s how it is. कितनी कंपनी इंडिया में थी जो बेट करी थी इंटरनेट में. Very few companies actually did it. ठीक है ना. But उसका लॉस भी ये हुआ कि यार you see the market leaders are coming from there. So Silicon Valley today is here. I mean, so that's coming up no matter what.
Okay. No, I think great, and I completely agree. And thanks very much for kind of discussing some of these points. And I'm very hopeful and excited to meet the new batch of students who will be joining our MBA Metaverse and Web 3.0 course. And I'm very interested and excited about having these kind of conversations with them. That what impact it will have on for instance, regular bank, regular ways of doing commerce.
Absolutely.
What are its transnational kind of implications? How would a small player, get into retail in Metaverse? How would individuals create brands that will be sold on Metaverse? And how this whole new virtual world that all of us are going to create, it will be different and similar to the one that exists. And in the process, if our students are able to build careers in it, create companies, what better joy than that?
Absolutely. And as a teacher, I will be more happy. People who studied here are now going to lead the Web 3.0 ecosystem.
Yeah.
What more a teacher needs? That's
Yeah.
the biggest, the investment for us as a teacher. Looking forward to it. Let us see.
Likewise. So thanks very much, and
Thank you so
more
much for the
conversations later.
opportunity. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.